So the 2nd French Armour Division and the 21st.Panzer Division has just been added to Steel Division. This will be a video looking at the new units these divisions had added, and not a general overview on how the divisions are actually going to play. Just a look at the new units. So let's just get started. So first up, we got the 2nd French Armour Division. It has a lot of recon, infantry and tank slots, and from support all the way to airplanes, it's rather standard at 4 to 5. You're not lacking too much in those departments. You are lacking in activation points with only 36 available to you. Now, looking at actual points, in A phase you get a whopping 105, which is the most of any division. But once you get to B and C phase, you only get an increment of 5 points, so you lose a lot of your steam very quickly. Now, I'm not going to be going over every single French unit with a new name because they're statistically similar to other units. But I do want to point out these spy guys because they have some very funny looking hats, but apart from that, they're rather standard infantry dudes. But the French do get a recon tanko, only an M3 Stuart, which isn't anything too fancy, but the mixture of optics and the main cannon allows it to be a rather versatile recon unit. The French get Voltigeurs for their standard infantry in rather low numbers, which is a common trend with French infantry. And really, they just only have rifles and a few close-range weaponry. In array, they are Spanish Republican fighters with an MG34 and a bunch of standard rifles. They're very well trained at 2 stars, but very limited in numbers. You can only get 2 cards of these with 2 per card. Sappers are probably one of my favourite French infantry units being added. They don't have a machine gun and just a standard rifle loadout, but they do get a bazooka for knocking out tanks, and satchel charges for knocking out infantry, making them very good all-rounders, just not in open field fights against machine guns. And eventually you get some proper machine gun teams to make up for the lack of machine guns that the rest of your infantry have. For tanks, you do get some standard M3 Stuarts, some command and standard versions of the M4A2 Sherman, and a very highly trained but limited amount of 76mm Sherman tanks. For support, you got the unarmed command car M3 for a measly 20 points, and some regular non-recon versions of the Greyhound for only 65 points. The support tab is rather standard with 57mm guns, a lot of Wolverines and bazooka squads. One of the bazooka squads I want to cover out is this Fusiliers Marines, which essentially is 4 guys instead of 2. The only noticeable new anti-aircraft piece added for the French is a Bofors gun on the back of a truck. There's nothing really new in terms of artillery, so we're just going to skip it. But for planes in the A phase, we got the DB-7B, which drops smoke bombs of all things, great for covering an entire area in smoky goodness in no time. There's also an interceptor version of the Spitfire, and to top it off we got the DB-73, which is a heavy bomber version of the smoke bomber. For the 21st.Panzer Division, you got a decent amount of slot capabilities, anti-tank, anti-air, and airplanes is a bit limited, but everything else is rather good. Of course, tanks being the main focus here. You only got 36 activation points like the French, but your points is a bit more of a standard progression, with 85 for A, 120 for B, and only 125 for C phase. The only new unit that's been added for the recon tab is this 221 Transport APC, which is essentially just a 223 but with transport capabilities. And for infantry, it's really just your standard Panzer Grenadier and Pioneer combination. But for transport, you got this U304, which looks more like a tractor with some armor plated around it and a proper half-track. For tanks, you got some captured Somo S35 French tanks. You can either get these in command versions or standard versions during the A phase, and honestly, they're not that bad. 6 frontal armor and 7 AP. It's pretty decent for a tank of this class. And if you feel like you want to be playing an American deck, don't worry, you got 4 Beuter Shermans available to you during the B phase. And if you're playing Red Orchestra 2, the Panzer IV-G is also in-game. They're very highly vetted, but low on armor. And of course, the unit I think most of us have been rating for, the King Tiger Porsche model. And yes, it has a crap ton of frontal armor and a big cannon of 22 armor penetration damage. Yeah, it will pretty much kill anything that you come across. But you got to realize, it's slow, it's very expensive at 350 points. If you have 0 points at the start of C phase, you will have to wait for 3 minutes to be able to afford a single King Tiger. so do take it into account when building your decks. And from this point forward, it's a lot of very silly or old looking units. For example, a Panzer IV-C model. It's technically a standard tank, but the AP power of it is pretty crap, so you want to relegate it to fire support. The Bromba is a Panzer IV chassis assault gun with a very big cannon of 150mm doing 25 HE damage, and with 14 frontal armor, it is pretty good at knocking out any building or infantry squads you want dead. I have no words for this unit. The look of it is all you need to know. You eventually get some half tracks with Pak 40 guns on the back, as well as some mortar runs which have a pretty decent cannon. The armor is a different story though. The Panzertrex teams do come with this pretty awesome half track with a light pack gun on the back of it. For anti-air, you got another U-304, but this time with a flak gun on the back, and a flak Panzer Gepard, or just a standard Gepard. Yeah, there's this artillery piece, which I believe to be Katyusha rockets, on the back of that U-304 half track. The right-hand Werfer is a bunch of mortars on the back of a half track. That looks like it's to be part of a musical organ. Yeah, there's this artillery piece, a bloody S-35 tank with giant rockets strapped to the side. And then there's this, which can call in off-map artillery. Airplanes are all standard affair for any German factions, the notable exceptions being its ME-109G0 model, which is a phase interceptor, and a 109G2 model with BR-21 rockets. And well, that's all the new units added in the patch. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as usual, please just take it easy.